How does social media affect the way we view ourselves? Hello, could you please let us know your name, age, and what social media platform do you use the most and why?
Hi, my name is Gabrielle.
Hi.
My name is Chanel. My name is Brianna, and I'm 19.
I am 20 years old.
No, I'm 20 years old.
Social media that I use the most, Instagram, Pinterest, and then Facebook. I use Instagram really to post myself. It's kind of like a blog for myself, and just because a lot of my friends have it, just to stay in touch. I like Pinterest because I make a lot of Pinterest boards about my passions, like arts and books and whatnot. And I use Facebook really just to touch base with my family. It's not something that I use constantly.
And the social media that I use the most is Instagram, TikTok, and Pinterest. I use TikTok primarily for posting my art or promoting my brand, and I use Instagram as more like a personal blog, kind of,
Okay, I use a few apps like X, Pinterest. I use them for memes, and then Instagram. I use them sometimes just for fun, and then YouTube. I started posting, but it's kind of been a lot to edit. But overall, everything I just use is just for leisure time.
Do you think social media platforms shape our perception of self-worth and personal success?
Yes. And I feel like it's because social media essentially itemizes your success. Your success is, I guess, how you say, your success is shown by what can you post on social media. So if you can't post something that's more a success for people our age, going to therapy, working through what we've been through, that's not something that you can put on social media and itemize it.
I feel in some cases it does. I mean, me personally, because I use social media just for, like I said, free time. But I feel for others who are trying to take it more seriously, I feel for them it puts pressure on them because sometimes they could not reach the algorithm that they want, and it may take a while for them to do that, or sometimes they might never. But in most cases, it would be that they just need to find the time to get the audience that they want.
I do, for the reason that I feel social media distorts our perception of reality as a whole. I think it depends primarily on what you're consuming that may alter how you feel about yourself, whether for better or for worse. I know if I could give a personal example, as an artist, whenever I go on social media and I'm looking at art all day, I might come across an artist that is younger than me, maybe I don't know, they're preteens or whatever. I see their art is so much better than mine, and then I just automatically start comparing myself to the other person, and then vice versa. If I see someone older than me who's just starting out, that really does it really does alter the image of myself and my art as well. So
How does the feedback we receive on social media, such as likes, comments, mentions, affect our self-perception or the way we feel about ourselves? Does it affect our behavior, whether we are online or offline?
I feel based off of what people say to you, you will change what people don't like about you. So for example, if the comments on your selfie are not so much about your face but about your cleavage, then you're gonna okay, in order for me to get this attention, I need to continue. For women, I need to continuously show this cleavage. For men, it's if you're posting but there's no money or there's no cars or there's no flashy girl next to you or no flashy clothes, it's okay, now I see in order for me to be validated by these outside sources, I need to have these external things.
I feel with likes, I feel likes is the biggest part when it comes to posting on social media. And I feel if a post doesn't do good, they just I feel people would that would deter their confidence and how much their work is undervalued, and they feel that that way maybe their stuff isn't very good.
For me personally, it does. I know maybe if I post on Instagram or something and it flops, I would probably delete the post, or I would try to post something else that I feel would gain more attention. I think the reason for that is more so just because when you post on social media, it's easy to forget to post genuine content and vulnerable content rather than just posting to be seen or posting to be perceived a certain way. So I feel like for a majority of everyone, whenever we do post on social media, whenever that image of us fails to receive, the right kind of feedback, it can ultimately distort how we feel about ourselves in real life.
How does constant exposure to idolized content on social media impact our mental health and the way we feel when we evaluate our own personal accomplishments/goals?
I feel like it makes us devalue what we're doing because we're not hitting those pinnacles, because we're not 23 with a 6-figure business and an apartment. We feel like, oh my gosh, like I'm so much more less than, or I'm not working hard enough, and then that causes people to like overwork themselves. People start getting anxiety about the future. People start getting depressed about what they have and what they don't have. Envy, jealousy, people start to compare. For women, like that, the body image thing, like it's so like prevalent. Like even back then when body image was first coming out in social media, like even now it's still the same thing, and you can see it in the younger generations of younger girls. The girls are getting younger and younger, and they're developing eating disorders, and the boys are starting to cut their eating too because they want to look a certain way. I feel like what it really does is it makes us take away the congratulations, like you worked really hard to do this. We completely discredit the effort, the blood, sweat, and tears that comes into reaching these accomplishments because of what we're seeing on social media. So
well, I feel like a big example of that could be like, let's say like girls that like post themselves and like they're like really pretty and like and I feel like a lot of other girls, like they could be the same way, but they just don't see themselves that way, and then they like constantly compare themselves to like the other girls who are like a little more popular on these like social media platforms. And I feel like that could contribute to like their like contributes more to like self-esteem, and it could like lower that. But I feel like also just comparing to like a lot of other creators that are doing the same thing that you would like to do, that could also like minimize your confidence.
As far as idealized content goes, I think we all at some point have posted idealized content, whether it be just promoting ourselves, living a lifestyle that's not really ours in real life. And we all know that social media is not real, but it's so easy to forget that, because we rarely do we ever post like deeper, raw, more vulnerable things online. So it's so easy to get caught up in what's real and what's not. I think a way that we could overcome that is if we consume in moderation. I feel like it would really balance between reality versus what's fabricated and idealized.
How do you overcome the social pressure of social media?
I think overcoming pressures of social media requires us to unlearn a lot of psychologies and ideas that we have about specific groups of people. So we're gonna have to unlearn the misogyny, unlearn the patriarchy, unlearn the fat phobia, unlearn the queer phobia, because that in itself, just having those ideologies and then having a platform where you can hide yourself behind and you don't have to worry about immediate consequences of what you're saying or what you're doing to somebody, it then causes people to act this way, and all these ideologies that we have offline are completely like fastened, like it's so much more fast-paced.
I feel like just keep trying to keep posting, keep trying to find people that will like your content, and I feel like if you find an audience that likes your content, I feel like you should keep pursuing the same content, because that way you could grab more creators or people to like look into what you're doing, and as well as, because if you do something constantly the same way, like some people could like get tired of it, and I feel like changing it up a little bit but still keeping it consistent could also grab more attention. But other than that, I feel like taking it easy, or like just being patient, being very patient with your work or your social media. I feel like you should just have a lot of patience, because it's not gonna come like immediately.
I would say, me personally, I would overcome the social pressures of social media by just consuming in moderation, watching what you feed yourself on social media, because you if you consume whatever you consume, it definitely can, that is what you feed your mind. So if you feed yourself negativity on social media constantly 24/7, you will adapt that mindset. It's just inevitable. And also, I feel like social media shouldn't be your primary source of information. For example, like, it's okay to use social media for certain things, but it's always good also to read articles and books sometimes to form your own opinions and things like that.